Functionalism. To understand functionalism, we need to understand a function. One example of this is of a hat. A hat can take on different shapes, sizes, and styles. As long as it's something that sits on the head, we understand it as a hat. Here, the functional kind is a hat because it can take on different kinds. And the functional role is to sit on the head. Now, how does this play into the theory of mind? Let's look at the functional view of pain. The state of pain can be considered to be the parameters such as harm caused to the body, production of anxiety, and audible reactions. These parameters consist of mental and physical states. This view can be considered to be a sense of token physicalism. For example, C fibers or X fibers, as long as they produce the physical state of the state of pain, they can serve the function and still be considered the parameters. This also proves multiple realizability. So, how does functionalism hold up against behaviorism? A behaviorist has to forego mental states. So when they see the stimuli of drinking alcohol, they relate it to the behavior of falling on the floor and stop there. The functionalist will instead identify the mental states. So they see the stimuli of drinking alcohol and relate it to the mental state of the belief that it will relieve pain, and then relate the behavior of falling on the floor to the mental state of wallowing in misery. This accounts for the relation between behavior, mental states, and physical states that behavioralism fails to do. Now, how does this compare to identity theory? This solves the issue of multiple realizability. Let's take a look at the example of the neural state of wallowing in misery. The neurons firing that causes the butterflies in the stomach and the anxious thoughts all have causal relationship to the nature of wallowing in misery. Functionalism doesn't specify the specific neurons that fire, so anything that serves the function of wallowing in misery is acceptable. The problem with functionalism is the vagueness. There needs to be a rigorous framework to understand all these different causal relationships and the factors that make up the mental state. Hilary Putnam tries to do this in his proposal for the Turing machine functionalism, which should be a separate video. But real quick, we'll go over 5 of the issues Ned Block describes. For example, our experience intuitively do not interact serially like they do within the Turing machine. And our mental states can be shared even though we may have different machine tables. Another issue would be that mental states can be infinitely possible, whereas Turing machine, it's finite. Another issue would be the internal structure of a Turing machine does not relate to the functional role, so it runs into the issue of multiple realizability. And the final issue is qualia. One of the examples we go through is that someone who experiences a red strawberry and someone who experiences a green strawberry will both consider it to be red, and functionalism does not adhere or provide a definite answer for that. Well, that's it for functionalism. Thank you. Goodbye.